Welcome guys to another video about to English grammar. Today we're gonna cover a different topic. The topic for today is adjectives ending in ing and ed. For example, boring and bored. So what's the difference between uh, these adjectives, right? So let's start it. Many adjectives end in ing and ed, for example, boring and bored, right? For example, let's study this situation. Uh, Jane. Jane has been doing the same job for a very long time. Every day, she does exactly the same thing again and again. She doesn't enjoy her job anymore and would like to do something different. So, in this example, right, Jane Jane's job is boring, and Jane is bored with her job. Okay, this is Jane. This is bored because she's is more like a feeling, right? And in boring is because that situation makes someone get bored. Okay, check it out. Somebody is bored or gets bored if something or somebody else is boring. If something is boring, you get bored with it. So, Jane is bored because her job is boring. And Jane's job is boring. So, Jane is bored. No, not Jane is boring. Okay? So, that's the difference between both of them. Uh, if a person is boring, this means that they make other people bored. So be careful with this expression, with the ing adjective. So if a person is boring, this means that they makes other people bored. For example, Paul always talk about the same thing. He's really boring. He's really boring. So basically, in that context, you are saying that someone is boring. It's boring. He makes bored somebody else. You know. Uh, let's move on to the next part. It's compare adjectives ending in ing and ed. For example, let's compare different different adjectives. For example, my job is boring, right? It's different to say I'm bored with my job. Totally different, right? Uh, my job is interesting. I'm not interested in my job anymore, right? My job is tiring. I get very tired doing my job. My job is satisfying. I'm not satisfied with my job. My job is depressing. My job makes me depressed. So check it out. In this example, the ing adjective tells you about your job, right? Because we are describing our job. Because in this example, uh, the jobs make us feel different feelings like a bore, maybe interest, no interest, or tired, satisfied, depressed, exhausting. So basically, when we are when we are describing a job, we are describing how this job make feel us. Okay. Another example in another side. In this example, the ed adjective tells you how somebody feels about the job, right? So this is the feeling. It's like these parts may feel something, and this part is the consequence about this part, uh, right? So compare these examples. Interesting, interesting. Julia thinks politics is interesting. Did you meet anyone interesting at the party? It's different to say, Julia is interested in politics, not interesting in politics, because in this example where Julia is interested in politics, we're talking about feelings. We're talking about today. Julia is really interested in someone, in something, right? But in another part, Julia thinks politics interesting is the area of politics makes interest Julia in this area, right? So, are you interested in buying a car? I'm trying to sell mine, right? Surprising. I was surprising that he passed the exam. It's different to say everybody was surprised that he passed the exam, right? The action that people, somebody else, passed the exam makes surprise people, right? It's surprising is the action, right? And surprise is the feeling that you got uh, because of action, in that case surprising, right? Disappointing. Disappointing. The movie was disappointing. We expected to be better, I don't know. Disappointed. Disappointed. We were disappointed with the movie. We expected to be better, right? Different ways. Shocking and shock. The news was shocking. I was shocked when I heard the news, right? So let's move on to the exercise part. Exercise. First part. Complete the sentence for each situation. Use the word in brackets plus ing or I or ed adjective. The movie wasn't as good as we had expected. For example, disappoint, right? So the movie was disappointing. Was disappointing. We were disappointed with the movie, right? In that example, we say disappointing and disappointed because the movie makes us feel disappointed. So basically, uh, the movie we are disappointed uh, because the movie was boring, right? So this part. Donna teaches young children. It's a very hard job, but she enjoys it, right? So she enjoys her job, but it's often exhausting. Exhausting. At the end of a day's work, she is often exhausted. Exhausted, right? So let's analyze this sentence. So she enjoys her job, but it's often exhausting. Exhausting. Why is exhausting? Because in fact, they make the job. It makes feel exhaust to Donna, right? So at the end of the days, she is often exhausted, right? Next one. It's been raining all day. I hate this weather. This weather is depressing. This weather, whatever you want. This weather makes me depressed. It's silly to get depressed because of the weather, right? So let's analyze this sentence. So it's been raining all the day. Check it out. This is a context, no? I hate this weather. This weather is depressing. Is depressing, right? So the weather makes me depressed. So this is the cause. This is a consequence, right? It's silly to get depressed. Get depressed. Get depressed because of the weather, right? So, uh, two last sentence, it's a cause of the depressing, right? The first one. Claire is going to Mexico next month. She's never been there before. Excite, that's the word. It will be an exciting experience for her. It will be an exciting experience for her. Going to new places is always exciting. She's really excited about going to Mexico, right? So, in this context, the first and the second makes she get excited about something, right? In this case, going to Mexico. Okay, the next one. Choose the correct word. Uh, so we have two options. We have to choose one of them, right? ing ing adjective or ed adjective. In that case, I was, I was disappointed with the movie. I had expected to be better or better. So the next one. Mm, I'm not particularly interested in football. I'm not particularly interested in football, right? So in that context, the correct answer is interested because we're talking about a feeling, right? For example, I'm not particularly interested in football. So if I could say I'm not particularly interested in football, it means I'm not interested in football, and also I make feel somebody else the same feeling, right? So that's different, right? That's why it's interested, right? So next one, the new project sounds exciting, and looking forward to working on it. So the new project sounds exciting and looking forward to working on it. In this context, so the new project sounds exciting. Why exciting and not excited? Because in that context, uh, that project makes you excited, right? So that's why. Uh, the next one, uh, and also the teams doesn't have feelings. So the new project sounds right. It's like we're talking about to feeling that something makes you feel right, but also we have to be criticized about that because you know a thing doesn't have feelings, so it could be impossible to be excited, right? Just exciting. Next one. It can be embarrassing or it can be embarrassed. So in that case, embarrassing. It can be embarrassing when you have to ask people for money, right? In the same thing, things make you feel something. Okay, in this case, it can be embarrassing. Um, you easily get embarrassed. Do you easily get embarrassed? Embarrassed. It's embarrassed, right? Embarrassed. So embarrassed. Do you easily get embarrassed? So in that in that in that question, right? Check it out. The question is aimed to someone. So someone could be feeling, right? So that's a good example about think and about someone, right? So do you easily get embarrassed? It's mean, uh, do you get embarrassed? Are you embarrassed or something like that? So we're talking about the feelings because the thief doesn't feel That's feelings, So, next one. She's learned very fast. She's made amazing progress. So, she's learned very fast. She's made amazing progress. Now, next one. I didn't find the situation funny. It was not amused. I didn't find the situation funny. I was not amused. Right? So it's like it's not funny for me. Right? It's not funny. It's like it's a feeling because you are feeling uh, that annoying situation in that moment. Right? Uh, I interested in joining the club. How much does it cost? I interested in joining the club. How much does it cost? So in that case, I say I am, I am interested. So we're talking about feelings, right? We're talking about feelings because you obviously has an interest to join a specific thing. Uh, it was a really terrific experience. Everybody was very shocked. It was a really terrifying experience. Everybody was very shocked. So, in that concept, it's the same thing. We have to analyze: it's a thing, it's a person. So, the thing has feeling. No, right? So, the person has feeling. So, in that case, it was a really terrific experience. It. Remember, we use the pronoun it in order to refer things, right? And also pets. In English, pet is considered things as well. Yeah. So um, everybody was very shocked. Everybody was very shocked. We're talking about two people, right? So why do you always look so bored? Why do you always look so bored? Is your life really so boring? Is your life really so boring? So let's analyze the sentence. Why do you always look so bored? We're talking about to someone, right? Do you? So we're talking about to someone. Is your life really so boring? Is your life? So we're talking about today. Is your life? We're talking about today things, right? No, a person. Is your life so boring? So in that in that content, that person is saying that your life is boring. It's like your life makes you feel bored, right? And also because it's a thing. Next one. He's one of the most boring people I ever met. He never stops talking and he never says anything interesting. He's one of the most boring people I ever met. He never stops talking and he never says anything interesting, right? So let's analyze. He's. We're talking about two person. He's one of the most boring people. So I ever met. He never stops talking and he never says anything interesting. So let's analyze the first thing, okay? In that context, a person is claiming about to the someone. I don't know what is the context. I don't know what is the reason. I don't know what is the excuse. I don't know what is the causes about that. Maybe she has a problem with that person. I don't know. But he says he's one of the most boring. So basically, he's saying that that person makes uh, he feel bored, right? So he never stopped talking. So in that in that part, he's giving he's giving more information about right? More information about the context that why he's saying that. He never stopped talking and he never says anything interesting, right? Next one, the last one. Complete each sentence using a word from the box. We have a lot of amusing, amuse, confusing, confused, exhausting, exhausted, annoying, annoyed, disgusting, disgusted, interesting, interested, boring, bore, exciting, excited, sorry, surprising, and surprise. So, let's start. You work very hard. It's not surprising that you always tired. You work very hard. It's not surprising that you're always tired. Now, next one. Some people get bored very easily. They always need something new. Some people get bored very easily. They always need something new. Okay. The first part we can infer that is bored because we are using get. Yeah. But in another context we can say people get bored very easily. Uh, Usually we use the ed adjective for describe people, describe person, something like that, right? In that concept, maybe we can keep in mind that we're using get. So get always goes with id with ed adjective. Okay. Next one. The teacher's explanation was confusing. Nobody understood it, right? In that context, basically when say nobody understood it, so basically the teacher explanation is a thing, right? Makes all the class understand, right? So in that context is confusing, right? Because it's the action which makes feels something to somebody else, right? The kitchen hadn't been cleaned for age. It was really disgusting. The kitchen hadn't been cleaned. The kitchen hadn't been cleaned for age. It was really disgusting, right? So we are describing basically an action, right? The kitchen hadn't been cleaned for age. It was really disgusting because that situation makes you feel disgusted, right? I don't go to art galleries very often. I'm not very interested in art, right? Check it out. I I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. So we are talking about to the person. We're talking about to the feeling uh, of someone, right? Someone's feeling. In this case, I'm not very interested. You are not interested in something, right? In that case, art. There's no need to get annoyed. Get. Remember the second sentence. Some people get. So there's no need to get annoyed just because and a few minutes late. So there's no need to get annoyed just because and a few minutes late. Next one. The lecture was boring. I fell asleep. The lecture was boring. I fell asleep. Okay, so first thing is a thing, is a person, is a thing, right? So that situation makes you feel something? Yes, I fell asleep. I fell asleep, right? So that's why it's ing adjective. I've been working very hard all day, and now I'm exhausted. I've been working very hard all day and now I'm exhausted, right? So there's a context, right? There's a background about to be exhausted, right? So that's why it's ed, right? uh I'm starting a new job next week. I'm very excited about it. I'm, ex- I'm starting a new job next week. I'm very excited about it, right? Because basically the feel to be exciting, right? The fact to be exciting is a consequence about to starting a new job. That's why is ed adjective. Next one. Steve is a good at telling funny stories. He can be very amusing. Steve is good at telling funny stories. He can be amusing, right? In that context, right? He can be very amusing. We're talking about to a situation that he can feel amuse somebody else. In that case, with his stories, with his funny stories, right? We're talking about to the process that he telling stories. Maybe he's charming. Maybe his voice is it's clear. Yeah, I don't know, has a special phone. I don't know, right? Many things about that. So, Helen is very interesting person. Helen is very interesting person. She knows a lot. She's traveled a lot and she's done lots of different things, right? So, in that case, Helen is a person, right? Yeah, it's a person. But check it out. Helen is a very interesting person, right? She knows a lot, she travels a lot, and she's done lots of different things. So in this sentence, it's giving a context why that people think that Helen is very interesting because she knows a lot, she has traveled a lot, and she has done a lot of different things. So remember, she's is an abbreviation, right? It's a short way to say she has, right? So because we're talking about to experience. Uh, in that case, we are describing, yeah, we are giving the reason why we are thinking that Helen is a very interesting person. That's why we are using to the ing adjectives. I hope you like this video. Uh, you can give me a like, could be greater if you subscribe even more. So thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you the next video. Thanks a lot.